Welcome back to the second segment of the Tax Time Show. In this episode, Mr. Ajay Kumar, CPA and MBA with Sai CPA Services, has been giving out information regarding PPP loan forgiveness. Remember, the time will come soon in a couple of months to apply for the loan forgiveness regarding PPP if you have received one. But while he's giving out information and you're making notes or you're watching the show, if you have any question, please feel free to send us an email, texttime@tvasiausa.com. That's our email ID, texttime@tvasiausa.com. No question is a silly question. Mr. Ajay Kumar will personally answer your question. All right, moving on to this now, loan forgiveness. You gave out information in the first segment, how to apply for it. You said that you should go to the same financial institution where you got the loan from. Absolutely. But there's more to talk about.
Absolutely. So SBA has released the application in order for you to start getting ready, so you can start preparing what information is going to be asked for. So there is an application. The application number is 3508. You can download this application on internet, and this application details the information that the banks, these fintech companies, will be asking you. So while you are waiting for the PPP loan forgiveness portal to get ready, you need to start looking at all your expense receipt, proof of payment, and get ready for this application. There are two applications out there, Sanjeevji, 3508 and 3508 Easy, meaning the same application. One is the easier form and one is the complete application. In the easier form, there are three criteria. Three types of small businesses can use 3508 Easy. First criteria is if you are self-employed and if you have no employees, no payroll, you don't have to go through the regular means longer here, application. You can easily use 3508 Easy, which is much more condensed, smaller application. The second criteria is if you did not reduce the payroll for the employees and did not reduce the payroll hours for the employees, you have the right to use 3508 Easy. The third criteria, and you don't have to meet all the criteria, just one of these three criteria will do. If you have the same payroll, you have the employee, you have the payroll, and you ended up reducing the hour, you have to justify that your business was adversely impacted by the COVID-19 situation. In these three situations, you can use the 3508 Easy. If you have to let go some employee, you have to document it properly as how much is the drop in revenue. If there's an employee who refused to come back, you have to document it properly that you had offered the job at the same rate with the same hours, and it's not you, it's the employee who refused to come back. Then it wouldn't be counted against you, Sanjeevji.
Interesting. So 3508 Easy or 3508, any one of the forms would do.
Absolutely.
All right. One word that I've been keep hearing in your information regarding PPP loan forgiveness is the word payroll.
Right.
You need to submit payroll reports. You need to have all the proofs and everything. Is there anything any business owner should get something from payroll company, some kind of information, or would payroll company work with the small businesses in order for this loan forgiveness program?
That's a great question. Most payroll companies, all the payroll companies will have a report, PPP loan forgiveness report. How do we know that? It's not out yet. Then are we so sure that all these payroll companies will have it? Because at the time of applying for the PPP loan, all these payroll companies came up with a qualified payroll report. Similarly, all these payroll companies are working on, and the details are not out yet, so a lot of payroll companies do not have that PPP loan forgiveness report. But based on the qualified period that you select, meaning if the PPP funding was received before June 5th, you can choose to go with 8 weeks. So you can go to the payroll company's website, put in certain dates, and the payroll company will generate a report for you that should cover up to a maximum of 60% of the PPP forgiveness.
Okay, because that's very interesting. You would, if there is a 1 employee or 10 employees or 20 employees, and obviously if there's a payroll company, then payroll company's reports and their support and assistance will definitely help.
Absolutely, that will be the key point. Just because if you look at, there are a lot of other expenses and the payroll, and payroll must be at least 60%. So we want to clarify to our viewers, payroll can be 100% for you.
Yes.
You can use the whole PPP funding towards the payroll only, but if you fall short, if you are using 80%, 90%, you must use at least 60% of the total PPP funding for the payroll. Rest of this money can be used for the rent, mortgage, utility, travel, and other expenses. In all cases, you need to show the expense report. It could be the invoice, could be any sort of proof, and then the proof of payment via check, credit card, bank statement, anyway.
Okay. Even though applying for this PPP loan forgiveness is still a couple of months away and everything else, but how one should get ready mentally in case if a loan is not accepted by IRS or Department of Treasury, whoever is finally approving these loans for forgiveness. In case if some company's loan application for loan forgiveness is not accepted, how should they prepare themselves and what would be the next steps that they should concentrate?
Wonderful question. So what we are saying is, what if I don't get the forgiveness? I have the PPP loan. So first thing, it won't be yes or no. Meaning if you got a loan for $50,000, it wouldn't be we are not forgiving it. It will be more likely we cannot forgive 100% of it. Based on your details, we can forgive 37,500.
Oh,
it won't be all or none. It will be certain portion. But the question is still there.
Yes.
What happens for the amount that's not forgiven? It could be part amount, it could be the whole amount. The amount that's not forgiven by the PPP loan forgiveness program is considered as a loan that you are supposed to pay back in 2 years at 1% interest rate.
Correct. Okay. And quickly before we go into the break, whatever the amount is not forgiven, that is obviously loan that they have to pay back. Does taxes come in the picture in any way? Is there any taxes responsibility on the amount that they have to pay back as a loan?
Well, the way the rule is worded out, if the loan is forgiven, then the expenses that you covered under this program, they're not deductible expense. So indirectly, the loan that's forgiven becomes your revenue, becomes your income. So that's a taxable income for you because your expenses are not allowed anymore. So let's say, take an example. If you got a loan for $50,000 and out of $50,000, 40,000 is forgiven. You don't have to return it. 10,000, you have a loan, you return it. The interest that you pay on the loan is still tax deductible, but a small amount. Let's talk about the $40,000. In $40,000, you justified that you paid this much money for the payroll expense, this much money for the rent, this much money for the mortgage interest. So those expenses are not tax deductible. So your expenses go down, your deductible expenses are reduced.
Correct.
So indirectly, that 40,000 becomes your revenue,
Exactly.
taxable income, taxable revenue.
And the regular tax rate and everything. Whatever.
Absolutely. Whichever type of business you have, if you have a C Corp, it could be 21%. If you have a flow-through entity, LLC, S Corp, then you have to look at your personal tax rate. But the point is, the amount of money that's forgiven under the PPP loan forgiveness is sort of added revenue for your small business.
Very good. Good points to be noted. We're going to go into the break, but when we come back after the break, we're going to talk about obviously PPP loan. Let's say first part used by small businesses. Now they're wondering, will they be getting second part? Will there be any help coming in from Internal Revenue Service or Department of the Treasury? Mr. Ajay Kumar will give out information regarding that once we come back after these messages. Please don't go anywhere.